Hello everyone, my name is Prashant Pandey. I'm a graduate of National Law University, Lucknow. I'm here today. I'll be discussing about the GK and current affairs section of CLAT, and we'll also be discussing about what we are here to offer at Unacademy, so that you guys can excel and reach the top national law schools next year. I graduated from Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University way back in 2018. I cracked CLAT in 2012. 2013 and 2012. 2012 I did not join a college. 2013 I joined Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University, and I'm teaching from my first year onwards. Okay, so we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes. Good evening, Dipali. So we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes so that people can join in, and then we shall start this particular session. Okay. Good evening, Arav. Okay, so this particular session is basically about the GK section of CLAT. Okay, GK or the general knowledge section of CLAT is one of the most dynamic and unique sections of CLAT. Okay, इससे ज़्यादा dynamic और unique section आपको CLAT में मिलेगा नहीं. ठीक है, ये बहुत ही different kind of paper में जो questions हैं वो पूछे जाते हैं. ठीक है, the questions how they are connected to a particular topic and how they are asked in relation to a particular topic is something that is to be studied in depth. Okay, आपको सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है. Everything in under the sun is not important, but you have to read everything about a particular important topic. Okay, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी फार्म बिल चल रहा है तो आपको फार्म बिल के बारे में डिटेल में जानना चाहिए. फिर फार्म बिल की स्टेट और सेंटर को लेकर कंट्रोवर्सी हो रही है तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि एग्रीकल्चर जो है वो स्टेट लिस्ट में है, कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट में है कि यूनियन लिस्ट में है. लिस्ट आपकी स्केड्यूल्स में आ गई तो आपको थोड़ा बहुत स्केड्यूल्स के बारे में भी आइडिया होना चाहिए. ठीक है, सो ये बेसिक सारी चीज़ें हैं जो आपको पता होना चाहिए. हेलो गुड इवनिंग मलिक प्रज्ञा. ओके, सो this particular session is why very important for those who are starting their preparation for CLAT, or those who have already started their preparation for CLAT. This is something that is pretty relevant. Okay, and you need to concentrate on the things that we'll be discussing in this particular session. Okay, so the first and the foremost thing, this is about me. I'm a graduate of NLU Lucknow. I have 7 years of teaching experience. I was invited to speak twice at the University of Cambridge, and I recently last year I went to the 14th International Conference on Interdisciplinary Social Science Studies, and I presented a research paper there at the University of Oxford, St. Anne's College. So I have quite experience in this particular field. Okay, so few important questions when you start preparing current affairs or static GK or general knowledge section of CLAT. So these are the basic questions that you should ask yourself or the faculty you feel comfortable with. Okay, so first thing is, what is current affairs? So every now and then there's a discussion. हम जब भी देखते हैं कोई ना कोई डिस्कशन हो रहा होता है कि ये करंट अफेयर्स का टॉपिक है, ये स्टैटिक जीके है, क्लैट में करंट अफेयर्स पूछता है, स्टैटिक जीके नहीं पूछता है. These kind of discussions they go all around the year, and the students do not have clarity about that, and that is the reason they are not able to score good marks in the general awareness section of CLAT. So we need to understand what is current affairs, what is static GK, and how is CLAT GK. Okay, and then we'll be discussing about ALET, BLAT, SLAT, other law entrance examination. ALET is the All India Law Entrance Examination or Law Entrance Test for NLU Delhi. Okay, so NLU Delhi जो है आपका वो CLAT के अंडर में एडमिशन नहीं लेता है. नेक्स्ट इज BLAT, which is for BHU. ओके, सो BHU जो है वो भी आपका क्लैट के थ्रू एडमिशन नहीं लेता है. इट हैज इट्स सेपरेट एग्जामिनेशन. देन कम्स स्लैट. ओके, सिम्बाइसिस का लॉ एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट है. ठीक है, एंड दैट इज फॉर सिम्बाइसिस पुणे, नोएडा एंड हैदराबाद. ओके, सो दीज आर द वेरियस अदर एग्जामिनेशन, एंड देयर आर अदर एग्जामिनेशंस लाइक MHCET. देन छोटे छोटे और भी LSAT पेपर है. ठीक है, सो यू कैन गो फॉर दोज एज वेल, बट द प्राइमरी focus should be on the current affairs section of CLAT. Okay, so what is the current affairs section of CLAT? Okay, so what is basically current affair? You need to understand that. So earlier, before 2020, the overall CLAT section used to have what about the MHCET law? Yeah, I'll be talking about MHCET law as well. What kind of questions MHCET law has, I'll be discussing that as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'll be talking about that. So let us understand what is current affair first, what is static GK, then the terminology will be clear, and then it will be quite easy for you to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so what is current affair? That is before 2020, the question that you were used to be there in the general knowledge section of CLAT. Okay, so that is something that is that was used to be there. They used to pick simple direct questions, individual questions. ये particular award किसे मिला, who won the Grammy award for best album, who won the best actor award, or some person in news, some place in news, who is the chairman of CBDT, who is the current Chief Justice of India. These kind of questions who used to be asked, okay, which had kindly lesser relevance in comparison to the topics or the news or the issues that were that was going around globally or nationally. But वो questions pick कर लेते थे, ठीक है? So the questions used to be from current affairs as well as from topics of history, geography, polity, miscellaneous. Okay, so these questions were there. But now you need to understand the motive or the definition of current affairs has changed. Okay, what is current affair now? The current affair is a news. It is a affair or a news or a discussion or maybe some kind of maybe a news that is prevalent at present. Okay, for example, let us consider what is the current state of affairs on the Indo-China border or Indo-Nepal border, or what is the controversy related to the Quad security group, which is also known as the Asia Pacific version of NATO. Okay, so these kind of questions, these kind of topics, they have current implication. For example, quadrilateral, that is a basically a informal group of 4 different countries: India, Australia, Japan and United States of America. This is a group which informally came into existence in 2020. Okay, so it is an alternate, it is basically a military alliance. Okay, Asia Pacific version of NATO इसे इसलिए बोलते हैं because NATO is the non-Atlantic Treaty Organization which is based in Brussels, Belgium, technically headed by United States, technically not practically, but technically headed by United States. Okay, so उसका हम Asia Pacific version क्वाड सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप को बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना. क्वाड सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप is a current affair topic, it is a current affair, but now when there will be a question related to quad topic, the first and the foremost question would be who propounded the concept of quad security group before it formally came into existence in 2020. So the answer would be Shinzo Abe, the former Japanese Prime Minister, way back in 2007, propounded this concept of quad security group. So now you need to understand that the topic can be current affair. जो topic है बच्चा लोग वो current affair होगा, ठीक है, but questions related to that particular topic can be static GK. So what is static GK? Something that has become static, which cannot move. You cannot change the day of assassination of Gandhiji, or who was the first Prime Minister of India, or who was the first President of Indian National Congress, or what was when was the Swadeshi boycott movement launched, when was partition of Bengal there. So these kind of questions, they cannot be changed. So that is static GK. So static GK and current affairs, they are intermingled when we talk about common law admission test. Okay, so that is what you understand, that a topic can be a current affair. Questions related to that particular topic can be from current affair or from static GK. For example, quadrilateral group से related question पूछना उनको, तो वो ये भी पूछ सकते हैं कि अभी कौन सी 4 कंट्रीज हैं जो क्वाड ग्रुप के हैं, यानी करंट अफेयर है, क्वेश्चन भी करंट का ही है. बट अगर उसका स्टैटिक पूछेंगे तो 2007 शिंजो अबे के बारे में पूछ सकते हैं, ठीक है. if a paragraph is given about quad security group and there is a discussion about NATO also, so there can be a question related to when was NATO formed or where is the headquarter of NATO. So these kind of questions, you need to understand that the topic will be current affair, but the question related to that particular topic can be static GK as well. Okay, so understand the difference between static GK and current affairs. That point of conjuncture, that point of where static GK and current affairs meet in relation to a current affair topic, that is CLAT GK. Okay, so whenever we talk about any particular thing, for example, I remember CLAT 2020. I was discussing with my students about, I was discussing 100 important topics, 100 important questions basically in relation to CLAT 2020. When I was discussing those topics, I gave a few topics. When I was discussing those questions, I gave a couple of topics to my students. Coincidentally, all those topics were there in the CLAT examination. The next day, when there was the examination, those topics were there in the examination, and specific questions from what I discussed, those questions were there in the examination as well. So you need to understand this as well. Okay, we have to pick up important topics. We'll have to understand the importance of current affairs. For example, you cannot just go on randomly looking every current affair and thinking it to be important. You go into the static portion of that particular news as well, and then you waste a lot of time. No, current affair needs to be important as well. For example, I give you 1,000 page of notes related to current affairs for CLAT. Understand this. Okay, there's a 1,000 page note for current affairs for CLAT. What you get out of that, if I say कि तुमको CLAT का GK पढ़ना है, आपको CLAT का GK पढ़ना है, उसमें से hardly 20 pages would be important, not more than 20 pages. 20 pages is something more which I'm telling. Not more than 10 to 15 pages would be important for you. So it is important for you to understand what you have to study for CLAT, but it is more important for you to understand what not to study for CLAT. Okay, because there are random things going every now and then. You open your Google, every day you'll have hundreds of daily current affairs. What to study, what not to study is something very, very confusing. So you don't worry about that. I'm here. I'll be helping you guys with the current affairs topic as well as the static GK topic of CLAT. And I have been doing successfully from past 6 to 7 years. And now I'm here at Unacademy to help you guys in that particular process as well. Okay. So there's a couple of questions. Okay, Aditi, you asked a question related to the number of seats reserved for, and it is saying that the message has been retracted. It is approximately 30 to 30 seats are there in BHU, as I remember. Is completing Lucent GK enough for static GK for CLAT and BLAT? Okay, Aditi, if you are able to do Lucent in the best possible manner, then a portion of static GK would definitely be done. Okay, the basic questions related to static GK would be done. The complete book is not very important for you. Okay, you have to segregate the book into different parts. For example, the modern history portion of the Lucent general knowledge is exceptional. Go to the miscellaneous section of the Lucent general knowledge. It is also pretty nice. In the geography section, the universe portion is pretty awesome. You can read that as well. The medieval India section and the ancient history is intermingled. A lot of things are not organized in the best possible manner, but still, if you want to grab some important facts, you can go and read that particular book. Okay, so I hope your doubt is clear. Okay, so now coming to the other law entrance examination. So the CLAT GK, it is not something that you will understand in a day or two. Okay, so you have to take current affairs classes at Unacademy. Definitely, I'll ask you guys to come to my classes, take those classes, understand what GK is, because you have to understand one very important fact. Okay, while you're preparing for any examination, the self-study portion is the most important portion. Okay, so for example, I'm preparing. I teach you for 2 hours. Okay, so for example, I discuss the Indo-China issue or the Gilgit-Baltistan issue or the Quad security dialogue issue, any particular issue whatsoever. Okay, so the best thing what you have to do is to go back, revise that particular topic, go read a couple of articles or good editorials from the Hindu, Indian Express, the Telegraph, and then that particular topic, you can say that the particular topic is done. ओके, सो इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स को पिक करना है करंट अफेयर्स के लिए. करंट अफेयर के टॉपिक होने चाहिए, स्टैटिक जीके का नहीं. यू आर नॉट वरीड अबाउट व्हाट हैपेंड इन 1970, ओके, बट if that particular issue is somehow relevant in 2020 or 2021 because it has celebrated 50 years or 51 years, okay, that is an important topic for you. Okay, so that is how you change the relevance of a particular topic. So what is static GK? Something clear? Basic history, geography, ये भी आपको basic पढ़ना है. Okay, so what happens, sometimes you're not able to find the right connection. Okay, so you're not able to connect properly and read good static GK related to a particular news. For example, this year sample paper by CLAT जो 2020 के लिए sample paper था, there was a topic related to the Indo-China border dispute. Okay, there they asked a particular question, which is the topic talks about the Indo-China border dispute in the Galwan Valley near the Pangong Tso Lake. Okay, so this is the topic. The question that was there in the examination, which is the largest saltwater lake in India. So can you connect Indo-China? I'll just wait. Can you connect Indo-China border dispute to largest saltwater lake in India? Can you? Because you don't have to worry, I'll be able to connect that. I taught my students before it was asked in CLAT, and they were able to do good in CLAT. They were able to mark this answer correct. So I am able to connect that, but that connection has to flow from your end, because the amount of time that you will be spending with yourself is very important. Okay, so how you have to connect this is something very relevant. So you pick a particular topic, like for example, I pick an Indo-China issue. I am reading about Pangong Tso Lake. So when I read about Pangong Tso Lake, I'll get to know that it is a saltwater lake. Okay, when I'll read more about it, I'll read that it is the highest saltwater lake in the world. So technically it is the highest saltwater lake in the world, an important water body. So technically I need to know the largest saltwater lake in India. I also need to know the largest freshwater lake in India, which is Wular Lake, Jammu and Kashmir, and the largest saltwater lake is Lake Chilika, Odisha. Okay, so this is how you connect topics, and that is how you are able to solve and you are able to understand the GK section of CLAT in the best possible manner. GK, अगर आपका करंट अफेयर्स का टॉपिक हो गया एंड स्टैटिक जीके उससे कनेक्टेड हो गया, मोर और लेस एवरीथिंग विल बी डन. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट इज क्लैट जीके. ALET BLATS CLAT on the other hand, still it tests students with one word questions, so the questions can be vague as well as important, so you have to just go through the basic current affairs of a complete year. Okay, so I'll be taking sessions on Unacademy where I'll be discussing few random 200 important questions of a particular month every month. Okay, and there will be other faculties as well, other educators as well, who will be discussing GK about related to ALET BLATS CLAT. So once you subscribe to the Unacademy Plus program, you'll be able to do that in the best possible manner. So you'll be able to get questions for ALET BLATS CLAT as well. You'll be able to get you'll be able to get good mentors for ALET BLATS CLAT, and then you'll be able to also score well in the current affairs section of the common law admission test. Okay, so these are the basic examinations that you'll have to focus on, and the preparation has to be slightly different. For example, CLAT ka GK, you need to read the newspaper regular basis. It is very important. The editorial section is of ultimate importance. You cannot leave the newspaper. Any faculty of yours, any person who is saying that the GK can be done at the end of the year is simply lying on your face. Okay, you'll have to study for 3-4 months, 5 months before you start, before you are able to commit to your preparation. Okay, and that is why it is very, very important. You'll be able to get the questions correct, you'll be able to get the topics correct when you are preparing for some amount of time, and that is very, very important for you. Okay, now newspapers and magazines. Which are the newspapers and magazines which you can go for? The Hindu is the best newspaper that I prefer. Okay, this is something that you need to know. If you're not able to access the Hindu, go online. There you can find the subscription of the Hindu. You can access it from there, or you can read Indian Express as well. Indian Express is one fine newspaper. It is awesome. It is very informative. Okay, the basic questions. ओके ओके अदिति, सो ब्लैट के जीके के लिए आपको कुछ नहीं करना अदिति. उसमें होता क्या है, ब्लैट के जीके में स्टैटिक का पोर्शन और करंट का पोर्शन सब मिक्स आता है, ठीक है। करंट के क्वेश्चंस थोड़े कम होते हैं, स्टैटिक के क्वेश्चंस, हिस्ट्री के क्वेश्चंस थोड़े बहुत हो गए, पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उसके जीके सेक्शन पे, इंडियन पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं। सो अंडरस्टैंड एग्जामिनेशंस लाइक ब्लैट, एलेट, स्लैट, इन एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए आपकी प्रिपरेशन एकदम सिमिलर होगी कि आपको बेसिक सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ने हैं, मतलब हिस्ट्री बेसिक पढ़ना है, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री सबसे ज्यादा पढ़ना है, मिडिवल उससे कम पढ़ना है, एंशिएंट सबसे कम पढ़ना है, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव अ बैड लक और अ हार्ड लक तो एक क्वेश्चन शायद एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री से आ जाए। सो एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री बहुत ज्यादा नहीं पूछा जाता है, हम लोग उसी हिसाब से एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री पढ़ेंगे। देन कम्स मिडिवल हिस्ट्री। मिडिवल हिस्ट्री में मेजॉरिटी दिल्ली सल्तनत और मुगल एम्पायर के रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, बिकॉज ये दो मेजर एम्पायर्स थे उस समय। सो हम दिल्ली सल्तनत और मुगल एम्पायर को थोड़ा बहुत देखेंगे और बाकी चीजों से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस देखेंगे, बट द मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री पोर्शन इज टू बी डन in an exhaustive manner. You need to know the viceroys and governor generals, you need to know the basic revolts, important personalities, the Indian national movement post 1905. So that is very very important. Okay, उसके बाद आपको बेसिक मिसलेनियस का सेक्शन, जो आप जैसे पूछ रही थी कि ल्यूसेंट जनरल नॉलेज का पूछ रही थी, तो ल्यूसेंट जनरल नॉलेज का जो मिसलेनियस का सेक्शन है वो आपको बहुत हेल्प करेगा आपकी प्रिपरेशन में। उसका ज्योग्राफी का सेक्शन जो यूनिवर्स वगैरह का है वो आपको काफी हेल्प करेगा। देन आप क्लासेस करोगे एन अकेडमी पे, मेरे सेशंस रहेंगे, अदर एजुकेटर्स के भी सेशंस हैं दैट आर गोइंग टू, माय सेशंस विल बी strictly related to the topic. Okay, so if I'm talking about nationalist movement, I'll be discussing from 1905 partition of Bengal and the Swadeshi boycott movement, the role of Indian National Congress, with the basic focus on facts. Okay, because all the examinations, whether it be CLAT or whether it be ALET or BLAT or any examination per se, focuses on facts. क्लैट ने थोड़ा इस बार से स्विच किया है कि इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस के टॉपिक में वो थोड़ा एनालिसिस पूछ रहा है, बट द बेसिक एनालिसिस, कि जब हम कोई इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस का टॉपिक डिस्कस करेंगे तो हम उसमें बेसिक एनालिसिस भी देखेंगे कि क्या इंडिया के लिए क्या बेनिफिशियल है वो पर्टिकुलर चीज, या इंडिया के ऊपर क्या इफेक्ट होगा, जस्ट इन जनरल सेंस, एंड दैट इज व्हाट क्लैट आस्क्स अबाउट। इट इज नॉट यूपीएससी दैट यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर। ओके, सो इट इज अ सिंपल एग्जामिनेशन और जिसके लिए आपको कोई परेशानी या प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी। ठीक है, सो ब्लैट के जीके के लिए बेसिक स्टैटिक आपको पढ़ना है, बेसिक हिस्ट्री, बेसिक ज्योग्राफी, बेसिक मिसलेनियस, बेसिक पॉलिटी। ओके, दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव टू स्टडी। ओके, इकोनॉमिक्स में आप इकोनॉमिक टर्मिनोलॉजीज वगैरह पढ़ सकते हैं। ओके, सो देयर कम्स द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नीड टू रीड द फर्स्ट पेज। फर्स्ट पेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर का, क्योंकि सारी इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें कवर होती हैं इस पे। इट इज सेम अबाउट द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस ऑल्सो एंड द टेलीग्राफ ऑल्सो। सो द हिंदू का फर्स्ट पेज जब आप पढ़ेंगे तो उसके रेफरेंस में कई सारे पेजेस होते हैं। ओके, दे आर रेफरेंस पेजेस। फॉर एग्जांपल लिखा रहता है ना, आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कंटिन्यूड ऑन पेज 8, कंटिन्यूड ऑन पेज 12, कंटिन्यूड ऑन पेज 2। तो वो कंटिन्यूड न्यूज आपको पूरी पढ़नी है फर्स्ट पेज की। ओके, जितनी भी न्यूज फर्स्ट पेज पे आ रही है आपको पढ़नी है। देन गो टू द इंटरनेशनल सेक्शन और द वर्ल्ड सेक्शन, वर्ल्ड अफेयर्स। वर्ल्ड अफेयर्स की न्यूज को प्रॉपर तरीके से पढ़ना है, बिकॉज इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस इज वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक इन क्लैट। देन कम्स द नेशनल सेक्शन। तो नेशनल पेज भी आपको पढ़ना है, कोई ऐसी न्यूज जो हो सकता हो मेन पेज पे छूट गई हो या कई दिनों से चली आ रही हो जिसकी वजह से वो नेशनल पेज पे हो ना कि फ्रंट पेज पे, वो पढ़ना है। एंड देन कम्स द एडिटोरियल सेक्शन। नाउ एडिटोरियल इज, व्हाई एडिटोरियल इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, why every faculty keeps on asking you to read editorials. The reason for that is, for example, there's a particular controversy, let it be farm bill. तो जब आप एडिटोरियल पढ़ोगे फार्म बिल पे, मान लो कंट्रोवर्सी आज क्रिएट हुई, कल परसों नरसों 3 दिन 4 दिन में 2-3 बहुत अच्छे एडिटोरियल आएंगे उसी पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे, जो उस टॉपिक के हर एक एंगल को, हर एक स्कोप को एनालाइज कर रहे होंगे और फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन के साथ एनालाइज कर रहे होंगे। तो उससे क्या होता है, मैंने जो बोला था कि फॉर एग्जांपल यू अंडरस्टैंड इट इन दिस मैनर दैट दिस इज अ करंट अफेयर न्यूज, दिस इज अ ब्रांच ऑफ अ ट्री, अ करंट अफेयर न्यूज। अब ये अलग अलग ब्रांचेस जो इससे निकलेंगी, ये अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट है उसी न्यूज के। ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट की बात करूं तो देयर इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल और लीगल एस्पेक्ट टू दैट पर्टिकुलर न्यूज। देन सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट जो है वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट के पास कहते हैं जो स्टेट्स हैं उनके जो 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 शेड्यूल 6 के स्टेट्स हैं उनको इम्प्लीकेशन नहीं है, तो यानी वो एक अलग एस्पेक्ट हो गया। फिर उसको हम कहीं ना कहीं जोग्राफिकल एस्पेक्ट से भी कंसिडर कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा जो रिफ्यूजी पॉपुलेशन, सॉरी इलीगल इमिग्रेंट पॉपुलेशन है, वो नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आया है, सो नॉर्थ ईस्ट से रिलेटेड कोई जोग्राफिकल फैक्ट हो सकता है। फिर सिटीजनशिप से रिलेटेड कोई हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट हो सकता है। सो ये अलग अलग ब्रांचेस जो होती हैं ये एडिटोरियल में डील की गई होती है। सो आपको वो अलग अलग ब्रांचेस को समझने में और एनालाइज करने में एडिटोरियल बहुत हेल्प करता है, दैट इज व्हाई एडिटोरियल इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर, बिकॉज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज दैट इज ट्रेंडिंग ऑल ओवर द ग्लोब और इन इंडिया, that will be discussed there in the editorial section in a detailed manner, and that is something that you have to read. Okay, so I'll also be taking sessions on editorial analysis as well. Okay, well, I'll be analyzing editorials of the Hindu, and I'll help you guys also to understand how you have to read the newspaper. Okay, I'll also schedule a session where I'll explain you how to read newspaper, how to go through newspaper, what are the different pages you can opt for in the newspaper, what are the pages that you should immediately exclude from your preparation part, which you should not read. If you can read the complete newspaper, it's completely awesome, but I suppose majority of you would be class 12 students who are not able to commit much time in the CLAT preparation, so that is something that is kind of a shortcut for you guys. Okay, but if you can prepare the Hindu के सारे editorials important होते हैं और कि we can skip some. Aditi, what happens with the editorial section is कि definitely all the editorials are not important for CLAT. I'm blatantly saying all the editorials are not important for CLAT, but the editorials have one very important aspect as well, and that is the English aspect. What happens when you read editorials? You're able to understand the basic news, you're able to grasp facts from there. When that particular news is not interesting, you get a practice of reading comprehension, you get a practice of comprehension, because CLAT has now become a comprehension based paper. Okay, you're in 11th, so still that is something very good. You start reading newspaper from today or from tomorrow, because why it is important? The CLAT has become a comprehension based paper. English, there is only comprehension. Legal, there is comprehension based question. Even GK has comprehension based question. There will be passages and then there will be questions based on that. Definitely those questions will be on the basis of your knowledge quotient, not on the basis of English comprehension, but you'll have to read the paragraph first. You go to critical reasoning, it's full of paragraphs. So it is a comprehension based paper where you'll have to read once and understand what is written in the paper, and that is what the Hindu's editorial helps you in doing. What it does, it makes life easy. Okay, so you can read the Hindu's editorial or Indian Express, Telegraph, and for basic reference of your news, you can refer to Pratyogita Darpan as well. Okay, so all news, basic news, whether you have not missed a particular important news, you can go to Pratyogita Darpan as well. Okay, that you can purchase from 70 rupees from the market, or you can take the online version as well. Okay, so I hope if there is any other question or query that you guys wish to ask in relation to the basic CLAT preparation या GK का preparation, I'm more than happy to help you guys. Okay, I'll be more than happy to solve your queries. If you have any doubt, you're preparing for it, you're preparing for CLAT, or you're already started preparing and you are having any kind of doubt, please shoot your doubt, because your doubts are of utmost importance. That is going to make you or break your preparation. Okay, so you'll post your doubts, you post your queries, you'll ask your doubts. The more doubts you resolve, the more clarity that you are going to have. Okay, so I think more or less I've discussed basic about CLAT GK, not everything about CLAT GK, because that cannot be discussed in a day or two. You'll have to attend a couple of classes. Okay, you'll have to attend a couple of free sessions at an academy, understand what we will be doing in that particular session, how that is helping you in the preparation process all overall, and then I think that is going to help you in the best possible manner. Okay, so thank you guys, it was a wonderful session, since a couple of you already asked a lot of questions. Okay, thank you Brijesh Singh. Okay, so let's just wind up this particular session, and if you have any other query related to this particular session or any other query, you can just post in the comments below, and at the after this particular session ends, I'll be able to resolve those queries as well. Okay, thank you, thanks a lot. Very good night to all of you. जी मैं YouTube पे भी क्लास लूंगा. Do I need to study current affairs from now or from 12th? Okay, what happens, Aditi? If you start doing it from now onwards, that is going to help you in the preparation process. Don't go into very much depth of the current affairs section, but जो उसके साथ static GK है, वो आप पढ़ सकते हो. That will be a plus point. Okay. Okay, so see you guys. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Sayonara.